Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I'm hanging out at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on the park, have some fun like always, especially check up on the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. So how about you and I dive right in. Okay, we've made it in the park. This is it. This is the race day after party, and the line for Forbidden Journey is 35 minutes, so not that bad today. 20 minutes for the studio tour, 60 minutes for Secret Life of Pets. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're diving right into the construction over here at Fast and the Furious. Again, the new cotton candy stand is still progressing pretty nicely over here on Front Street. Now here's your latest look at the Fast and the Furious project here at Universal Studios Hollywood. The all new roller coaster opening up soon. Tons of activity today. It's actually really nice to see. It looks like twice, if not 3 times the amount of people on site. So much activity. And what's really exciting about the project today is that the coaster itself has officially gone vertical. And from multiple different vantage points, it's looking like the transfer track has gone in and a couple support columns, which again, is just super exciting. I love this stuff. I'm a huge coaster guy, so every time a new coaster goes vertical at a project, it's just really something special. The transfer track is very interesting though. I can't tell if it is going into the station or if this is a maintenance bay or if this is some other section of the roller coaster. Nonetheless, it is a very large piece and it's really cool looking because the color that they chose, it's like this gunmetal gray. It's not like super dark like Velocicoasters. It's a lot lighter. And it looks like the support column and the track are the same color, but again, I'm not gonna jump the gun fully on the color just because the track could change color once it gets beyond the transfer track section. So like the transfer track, again, looks to be either in the station or a different part of maybe the maintenance area or something at the top deck here. And then the rest of the layout could be a totally different color. We could see maybe a black or maybe a lighter gray as it goes out into the course. And we're gonna find out that final color here in the next few weeks. If they've already started putting up support columns and then one piece of track here at the top deck, and the rest of the layout is going to start taking shape here in the next few weeks and months. And honestly, at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if by next week or the week after I do another Universal update, we might see another piece of track pop up. Moving on from all the exciting roller coaster talk, there's even more exciting things happening in the lower lot, and that's the start of Halloween Horror Nights 2024. Can you believe it? Now, Universal hasn't made any official announcements for the 2024 season at the time of making this video, but hey, maybe here in the next couple months, we'll get a few announcements. I know by the time Midsummer Scream rolls around in like July, we'll usually get some announcements for either scare zones or haunted houses. And what's visible, at least right now, we have some lumber that has appeared at the front of the haunted house or the back of the haunted house. You never know. Sometimes they switch it up. And then as far as the haunted house location off in the distance behind Transformers, nothing has popped up just yet. But let the speculation begin. What do you think this haunted house is going to be this year for the 2024 season? Do you think it's going to be IP related, or do you think it is an original haunted house? Okay, we're making our way into Super Nintendo World because we have to check up on the latest happenings where the glacier area is located. And here at the secondary level, the wall is still up, so they're still working on whatever they're working on in here. And yeah, the other side's still blocked off as well. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a new game. That would be really cool up there. Okay, that's pretty much all the excitement happening downstairs. Let's head back upstairs to ride the studio tour. And look at this, before we jump on the tram, they have revealed the new pavers. Heck yeah. They just finished this side of the project. The restrooms are open over there, so you can use them, but the snack stand is still missing. I'm sure once they finish all this stuff, they'll move the snack stand back over here. Okay, just got off the studio tour and got a really good look at all of the action happening at the War of the Worlds set. They're rebuilding a lot of those houses, it looks like. So really exciting stuff over there. That entire set's gonna look fantastic when it's done. And then when it comes to the Bates Motel area, that whole section is being worked on very heavily as well. Lots of dirt being moved around, new pavement and everything. And like I've been mentioning in the previous Universal videos, this is gonna be very interesting when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights for the Terror Tram, because Terror Tram really hasn't changed as far as the layout is concerned in a long time. So I wonder if this year we're going to see a little bit of change for Terror Tram for 2024. I'm excited. I can't wait for Halloween Horror Nights, and I can't wait to see the finished product at the War of the Worlds set. I think it's going to be really cool, and this probably all has to do with the 60th anniversary surprises. And speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, a new haunted house location has popped up over here at the Curious George surface lot, and it's facing a different direction from years past, so that's very interesting. Okay, I've made my way back to the project here. tail end of the video just to kind of check up to see if they've installed any more support columns or track. And I don't see anything new over here in this top area. I don't see any new pieces of track or support column. Yeah, it's just the transfer track I was talking about earlier. And then the 3 columns, the one that's like kind of in front, the larger one, and then this back one. And I'm really curious as to what this is all going to look like by, you know, like June or July. I'm actually really stoked to see what this all looks like. I think by June and July, a lot more pieces will be put up, maybe even in this section over here on the side of the hill. They've been working on this for about 7 or 8 months, time of like taking down the old animal actors and special effects buildings to now. And a lot of work has actually been done. It might not look like it, but I mean, trust me, there has been a ton of work that has been happening on the site. And like I've been saying, a lot of the work is happening up here next to the Simpsons land. One thing I'm curious about though right now, and crews are working on this section, is they've kind of made this like makeshift fence that goes along the side of the hill here. And I'm wondering if the retaining wall that looks like they're building is going to be stretching all the way over here to the parking structure. Because remember, we are on top of Frankenstein parking structure. And I also wonder if that's part of the whole like sound barrier wall that they're building as well. Because remember, this whole entire project is under a lot of pressure when it comes to being quiet. It has to be quiet, not just the build, but the ride itself. That's why in the plans, we know that the attraction will spin in certain directions so the sound can go towards the theme park and not towards the neighborhood out there. But yeah, I wonder if this is where the wall is going to be going. And then I think over here, like this section, since they've started it later on, this will probably be the last spot to get the track and the supports, because it looks like that's where the turnaround happens. So the coaster will go over here, and then it'll start making its way back up this area, and then up towards the station, load and unload. So this will probably be near the tail end of the project timeline. But this right here, I think this is where we're going to see a lot of the action, maybe in the next couple months. And look, down there by the fence line, didn't even see that when we were on the studio tour earlier, but huge sections of rebar are just staged right there. So I wonder where those are going to go. And you know what? I think with that, it's going to do it for today's look at Fast and the Furious. Let's make our way out of the park, check up on some merchandise real quick. This is so much fun to cover. I've been loving this project. I love covering new things on the channel, new attractions and roller coasters and all sorts of rides. But oh man, this one at Universal Studios, it definitely is very, very cool to watch. And just real quick, voiceover Dylan here, back again, because I did want to talk about the possible next piece of track. And I think it's going to go right here on the other end of the first escalator when you're making your way down to the lower lot. There's a lot of heavy work happening right here on the footings for the support columns. That will be those big giant columns that hold up the very large pieces of track. And this is going to be a really cool part of the attraction because it seems to be the first part of the attraction, and it looks to be going over and under the escalator. And judging by the size of the footings, this is probably going to be home to a significant element. I have a strong feeling this is where the next piece of track or support columns are going to go. You know, I could be wrong. Hey, they could be putting them on the side of the hill next, but just judging from all the work still happening on the side of the hill, I'm thinking they're going to put the support columns in this area next. As far as what kind of element is going to be here, I think it's going to be an inversion. I think this might be the first big inversion of the ride, which is really exciting if true, because just right out the gate, you'll launch right into a pretty serious maneuver. And we're going to find out very, very soon, so I'll keep an eye on this area in particular. And over the next few weeks, I think we're going to see some serious action here and eventually find out what kind of element's going to be here. And since we've been on the subject of Halloween Horror Nights today, nothing happening over here at Mels Diner at the Palace Theater. But I have a feeling that's going to change very, very quickly, because if we've already seen the Mummy haunted house go up, this one's probably going to go up next. Now, before we move on to the merchandise, going back to Halloween Horror Nights, so we know for sure 2 locations are coming back. The location at the surface lot and then the location behind Revenge of the Mummy. Don't know at this point how many haunted attractions there's going to be, but if it's like last year, it might be the same number. If not, maybe even more. Hopefully more. I always love seeing more haunted houses at the event. I believe they had 8 haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights 2023, so maybe we're going to see another 8 haunted houses again this year, maybe even 10, you never know. Okay, I haven't checked out the Nintendo store in quite some time up here in the upper lot, and a few of you have been like, hey, do they got any new Super Nintendo World stuff? Well, we're going to try to find some, and I don't know what's new and what's not new. We're just going to kind of go over it really quick. I don't remember this tank top though. Okay, I think this is $1,800, $37 for the tank top. We got Luigi on the bottom there. I've always loved these Super Nintendo World pins. Got this pink one right here, blue, yellow, and another pink. These are $9. Yeah, the pins are actually not that bad. These are pretty reasonably priced here at Universal Studios. Oh dang, what is this? It's a multi-million-dollar surprise. $22. And it's the figure, coin, and ball chain. All right, that's what it looks like. Okay, I think all this stuff has been the same. I've noticed these before. All the plush, I have tons of cups and mugs and all that kind of fun stuff. These are still extremely popular. I see so many of these around the park. And they have a lot of this stuff back in stock. So they got the sippers and the popcorn buckets. You need to put together the puzzle pieces. Well, you can put together this one for $25. Trying to figure out how to dry off after Waterworld because you sat in the soak zone, you didn't know it was a soak zone. Well, they definitely got you covered here. This cool Super Nintendo World towel. Got some more mugs and t-shirts and hoodies over here. Some more figurines. And again, they still have the limited edition power-up band, the gold power-up band. And one more thing, there looks to be a new sipper at the Super Nintendo World snack stand in the upper lot. Made it out of the park, and I think that is gonna do it for today's video. We had a lot to cover. And again, it's just so cool that Halloween Horror Nights construction has started. My favorite time of year, Halloween, is just slowly creeping up on us again. One last look at CityWalk. Not too many people walking around right now, but since it is a Friday, oh yeah, this is gonna get really busy. A lot of people are gonna be hitting up Antojitos, Johnny Rockets, and a few other locations, including Twosomes over there in the distance for dinner. I'm still holding out for cowfish. I desperately need a cowfish here, but they already have a sushi place here, so I don't know. Maybe they don't want two sushi places. And a lot of you have been asking, are you gonna do Halloween Horror Nights again for the 2024 season? And at this point of the year, I'm not sure. It's always an I don't know, just because it hasn't been time to send in the audition yet, so I still have a few more weeks to think about it. Last year, it was around like late April is when I sent in the audition tape, so probably this year around that time again is when I'll have to do it. And yeah, I'm still deciding. Chances are I might do it again just because it's so much fun. And for those that have always wondered about it, if you've ever been curious about working the event, you should do it. And if you're a fan of Halloween Horror Nights and you are 18 years old and want to audition, I think you should totally do it. I think fans of the event, I think if you're a really big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, I think you should at least work it once to get a sense of how, the gears operate. It's really cool to get a behind the scenes look of everything, and I don't know, it's just so much fun. Every single year that I do it, I have an absolute blast. But aside from Halloween Horror Nights and the Fast and the Furious roller coaster and the studio tour and all the other fun stuff here at Universal Studios Hollywood, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these updates from Universal Studios Hollywood or some of your other favorite theme parks, because I cover a bunch of them, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week that you won't want to miss out on. And at the time of making this video, I'm approaching 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do that. It's free, it doesn't cost a thing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram by following the link down below in the description. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.